Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Tigers Talk Rugby. Before we get started, if you are listening on Facebook or YouTube, we are on multiple different podcasting platforms, which include Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Spotify. Now, with that, I'm Ethan Richards.
I'm Beckett Rice.
And I'm CJ Bakle. And today we have a super extra special guest. And he's a former Connacht professional player and the current assistant coach for Clemson Rugby. Welcome on, Darragh Leader.
I didn't even know there was that many podcast apps. First of all, I said that to all the ones you numbered off there, so that's good to know.
There's quite a few. We learned that when we were setting up to be on those other platforms. We were just like going through it and we're like, wow, there's a lot more than we thought. We thought it was just like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts is all the ones I knew about.
I didn't even know about Google Podcasts, so I was like, there's Spotify, and I guess for the iPhone users, there's Apple.
True. So, Darragh, welcome to Clemson. How are you enjoying Clemson in the Southeast?
Yeah, I'm loving it here. I've been here probably a week and a half now. I'm currently staying in one of the Clemson alumni's lake house. I think Troy is staying here as well, which is obviously a lovely spot in Lake Hartwell. But yeah, overall it's been class. Obviously the Clemson campus is unbelievable. It's completely different to anything you'd have in Ireland, just in terms of like the vastness of it. It's just insane, and all the kind of industry built around it. And so far it's exciting. Classes are a little bit more difficult than I thought they were going to be, which is not ideal, but it's a good learning curve. So far it's all going great.
Awesome. Yeah, for CJ and I, we're in our fourth year here, and I know we are always like, oh, it just gets harder every year.
Yeah.
So
I finished my bachelor's degree back in 2014. So I haven't been doing college for a while, and to come back into the masters, and straight away they start very hard straight away and get the ball rolling quick. So I'm having to learn very fast and do a lot of extra studying. Troy's not happy. I have to spend some extra time that I probably should be doing, going over stuff with him on like assignments and stuff. But he's been very good about it so far, thankfully.
What's one aspect of Clemson that you're just really enjoying so far?
Probably just in general, the weather. If I was back in Ireland right now, it would probably be raining and all that stuff and windy. Where here, like even yesterday, I went up to Asheville kicking NFL balls with my brother, and it's always just so nice. And we're in Ireland to do that, like every second day is just raining and windy. So I'm definitely loving the fact there's this consistently nice weather. And even go down to the pitch just to do a bit of session down it. It's always nice, and really enjoying that, using the dumbbells in the little locker.
Yeah. It's usually not this cold, but at least it is sunny still.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. It's actually perfect rugby weather. Around this kind of temperature, no wind, clear skies, perfect.
Yeah, so what brought Clemson onto your radar?
Basically when kind of back in March, around March, I just had like an Achilles surgery at Christmas time. And around March, they were kind of figuring out that I needed to get another surgery. But that surgery was the surgeon said it was going to be kind of 50-50 whether it would fix my injury or not. So I was like, I need to kind of start preparing for what happens if I have to finish up playing rugby. So then I literally went on I typed in D1 Rugby USA or Rugby USA colleges. Then the first thing that came up was like D1 Rugby. Pressed into that. A lot of teams popped up, and out of pure luck, the first team I actually pressed into was Clemson, because I watch college football. So I was like, I might as well start with the one team or the college I know. So I literally typed in, pressed into Clemson, Troy Hall came up, and then just sent them an email saying what I was thinking and planning on doing, and if they could help. And it all just kind of went from there. Thankfully, it all worked out. It took about 9 months, but I'm here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and Jim Gain as well. I got chatting to him as well. He was actually excellent in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, obviously for you as well, he does a lot for the Clemson rugby. So he's another big part of it. Chatting to him kind of all summer long. Because I was 50-50 whether I was going to stay playing. It was only around end of October that we kind of knew it was that the second surgery hadn't worked after I gave it kind of 12 weeks or so to see if it healed or not. And then that's around when I decided that, I need to stop playing rugby and focus on the college side of things and then push forward with Clemson. So, yeah.
I know these two over who've joined us as well. They have been talking about how excited they are to have you come in and bring your perspective to the club.
You have no idea where I've got a couple friends of mine who play at different colleges, and over the break we would go out and do a little bit of running, play, throw a ball around, and they're always like, "How the heck did you guys get him as a coach?" And I was like, it's just a lot. It took a lot of work, a little bit of luck, and we were just like really thankful.
Connections, man. It's pretty awesome to be like, oh, well, I have a coach who used to play professionally in Ireland, where the World Rugby headquarters are, and he has his own Wikipedia page. That's pretty cool.
He's official. He has a Wikipedia page, yeah. I'm not even sure who updates that, because someone actually did. I noticed someone changed it there recently. I was looking at it only a few days ago. I know someone had changed a few details, and I was like, who does that? Who puts in, I don't know who's in charge or who edits it, but yeah, they changed a few details on me. That used to be one of our jokes with some of the lads that would go on and edit some of the lads to say something funny, or edit Kieran Marmion's height to 4 foot nothing. Stuff like that. Joke we used to do. But yeah. I need to figure out who's in charge of mine.
Yeah, get in touch with them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It would.
Yeah, so now you've been talking about taking a shift into the school and into the coaching role. What are you looking forward to as a coach?
I suppose I've never had a full-time role as a full-time coach. Back in Ireland, I always kind of did it on the side, just helping out teams here and there and helping out my school and stuff. And in the last month or two before the other lockdowns were in, I was coaching helping out the senior team and senior women's as well. But in terms of Clemson, I was just even just from training with a few of the lads doing touch and stuff, there's actually so much kind of talent here and raw talent that I'm looking forward to kind of adding my kind of knowledge that I've garnered over the years to the Clemson team, and hopefully, we can implement that here and see some serious gains. Obviously, your man Jim Gain has massive plans for the team and for the success of the Clemson team. So just really, really looking forward to meeting all the boys. Probably starting tomorrow officially, and just kind of adding my flair to things, how things are done, and adding the drills that I've done that have worked for me and for other teams I've been with. Just adding that all to Clemson. Hopefully, it becomes very successful.
I know I'll be there for practice tomorrow.
Yeah, starting off fitness and skills.
Yep.
A lot of fitness.
Dreading that one.
I was waiting for that comment.
I heard a few boys were actually down doing a few practice Broncos last night. That there was a few down there. And you?
That's
no, I was not there for that.
Broncos is my least favorite word in the English dictionary. Bronco.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you need to give CJ extra Broncos.
Yeah, extra Broncos for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you have what is your relationship with the players going to be like? Is it going to be formal? You want them to call you coach or what in that front?
Yeah, as I was saying, I've never any team I've coached before. No one's ever. It's like an American thing. I feel in Ireland, I've never called a coach in my whole career. Not even once, I'd say. So that's what I was saying. Hopefully the players will call me by my either Darragh or my nickname Des, ideally, with what I'm after. It just feels so weird to be called coach. And in terms of my relationship, obviously, I feel like I'm a lot closer to your guys' age, and I'd say, no offense to Troy, he's an old man. Hopefully, as in I'll be helping out and hopefully because of my age, I can see things a lot more from your perspective and how I'm just recently out of the game. So I hope to see things a lot more from the player's perspective as from being a kind of hard-nosed coach. I'm a very easygoing fella. So hopefully that's the kind of relationship I'd like to have. Very
That's
easygoing.
awesome.
And like also you're a student as well, so you'll be able to relate to a lot of the college athletes too.
Just another college guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, getting into your like previous rugby experiences and whatnot, who was your idol for rugby, and like who is your favorite player now, and is it the same individual?
My idol growing up, probably like just because we're in Ireland, it was probably Brian O'Driscoll. Obviously, he's one of the best players of all time. An unbelievable centre. Some of the skills he could do on the field were insane. Just like obviously he's won everything you could possibly win. He's a great leader. And actually, one of my second start for Connacht when I was 20, I think, or 19 or 20. Actually, it was kind of like we were playing against Leinster, and it was my first start that season under Pat Lam. And before the game, I used to always kind of like have this approach where I just kind of focus on myself. I don't really worry about who I'm playing. I just kind of, it's on my performance, what I do. And then I remember just kind of being on the pitch, balls kicked off, they knocked on. So we did scrum, and I was kind of just standing there. And like I heard someone saying, I 15. I looked up and it was like Brian O'Driscoll shouting that he had me in the defensive line. Remember that? I was just like, oh my God, like how am I? It was my second game, but I knew he was playing, but I didn't really register with me that I was playing against Brian O'Driscoll. And up and he was shouting, I 15. I was like, oh, I was like, how the hell am I on the same pitch as this fella? Yeah, Brian O'Driscoll was probably the idol. And then in that game, I actually got a really nice tackle on him, so I was proud of that.
There you go.
And it was his last game it was his last game at Connacht as well, that game. So we had like a huge crowd there, and it was just, we just lost by like 5 points in the end, but it was obviously class to play against him before he retired and to essentially play against my idol growing up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. So your second start happened when you were 19 or 20, and obviously as your professional career grew over the last 6 or 7 years now. What has that life been like for you?
It's been unbelievable. In fairness, while I was in it, I did appreciate the fact like my full-time job was basically hanging out with my mates and throwing a rugby ball around, which I would do anyway, and getting paid to do it. So like, it was literally a dream come true. In my hometown as well, I lived basically 5 minutes away from the Connacht sports ground pitch. I used to sneak into games as a young fella. There's like a back wall that I used to always sneak into. You'd hop, it's like through a cemetery, like the sports ground beside the cemetery. It's always like loads of us, like when we were like 10 or 12, hop that wall and sneak into the games. We didn't have to pay.
It's a little bit harder to sneak into Death Valley here.
yeah, thinking that. But yeah, I guess it's been unbelievable. Like obviously, but I'm a hometown kid from Galway, and like the first time I've actually officially left Galway is to come here. I've always lived in my hometown, never left there in 27 years. So it's actually the first time I've moved away. But it was unbelievable. Like obviously winning the title and like getting to run out in front of we call them the Connacht clan supporters for games, and like after games having to catch them and going out. Obviously you can't drink here 21, but in Ireland it's 18. Going out after games and meeting all the fans in the pubs and like having the crack that way. It was just unbelievable looking back on it. It was class, and again just hanging out with your friends all day long and playing matches and going for coffees, just traveling the world essentially. Yeah, it was unbelievable. We couldn't have gone better really.
Yeah. So if you had to pinpoint like one moment, like a favorite moment or a favorite like aspect of it, what would you pick?
Favorite aspect.
Or like favorite experience.
Yeah.
I'd say after the best thing is besides scoring tries and when that happens, I think like just the aftermatch feeling when you win a game in the change room is probably the best part of it. Like I remember actually the following year after that game when I was 20, we played Leinster, we won. I just remember like being in that change room after the game, all the boys are so happy, and like it's just the best feeling. You're walking off the pitch and all the fans are going crazy, like, and just having the crack with the lads, and sitting down after a hard-fought game, obviously having played well, hopefully, and yeah, you can't really beat that feeling. You're on a high until the Monday review and start giving out you for something you did wrong. But yeah, I'd say the after-match feeling is definitely probably the best after winning a game.
Would you say that Leinster was probably the most the team that you anticipated or like looked forward to playing the most, or would that be someone else?
Leinster and Munster, it probably would have been number one Leinster, but like playing any of the other Irish provinces is always a massive game. Usually would lose away, but at home like would always do real well against them, and like would probably would always play our best rugby at home against the other Irish provinces.
Yeah.
Beating Leinster is obviously unbelievable. Obviously Connacht just beat Leinster there last weekend for the first time in like 16 years up there. It's actually so annoying. We played them 2 years ago, just on St. Stephen's Day, the day after Christmas, and we were winning the game all the way until the last play in like the 82nd minute, and Leinster scored a try to beat us. So
I remember that game.
Tough.
That was
it's tough.
But yeah, and even playing like Munster as well. I remember I was playing my first time against Munster, and I was going to catch a high ball. I remember I caught the high ball, and then like Paul O'Connell came and like smashed me, and I was just like on the ground, and like Paul O'Connell just goes to me, "It's great to have another ginger lad in the Irish rugby setup." He tackled me, which is class, obviously. But yeah, Leinster is number one. Like when you play, when you look at the schedule for the season, you always like look to see when you're playing Leinster at home and when you're playing Leinster away is always kind of the big one you most look forward to. And that's what, like, coming up to that week, everyone's like gets so focused in for trying to play well in the games leading up to, so they get picked for the Leinster game as well. It brings a different level of focus. We always call like the Interpro games test match week because it essentially is a test at that level of intensity.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome.
So moving away again from the rugby stuff. Since you've gotten here, I know you were talking about being here for not too long. We wanted to know, what is the most American thing you've done while being here, and what is the most American thing you want to do while you're here?
Like American,
like the stereotype,
like American thing.
Well, when I was down, I was in Asheville for the week before I came here, and obviously I was kicking my brother the NFL balls, NFL kicking. That's what he's trying to do. But I always used to think from like watching movies and stuff, everyone goes to the high school pitches to the stands and does laps up and down the stands. Like that's a really American thing. So I actually did, for a bit of fitness at the end of one of the sessions, I ran up and down the steps in like the Asheville local high school stadium after doing football kicking. I feel like that's very American.
That's like Friday Night Light stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most American thing I want to do next? I haven't been to a diner since I've been here.
Oh, Paws Diner is down the road. It's actually really good.
It is.
Paws Diner is like 5 minutes away from the field. That place is amazing. So we should definitely go like before practice or after a game or something like that.
Yeah.
Team meal.
Yeah. I'm all for it. I'm a big fan of pancakes, so I'm looking forward to getting a nice big slide of pancakes with everything else.
Awesome. Yeah. There's quite a few diners that you could actually. The best diner I've ever been to was one where you're just on a long trip to go somewhere, and it's just randomly on the side of the road, and you're on the back road section, and there's just a small diner. You see like all the cars probably in the 10-mile radius of people who live there are at that diner for breakfast. You know that's where you stop. Like,
yeah, that's very true.
So,
definitely forward to that.
Yeah. CJ,
that or one of the barbecue places.
True.
Barbecue, actually. I went down to Pinehurst to meet Robert Bortons there during the week with Troy, and we got an unreal barbecue sandwich with like brisket and like the burgers. It was insane. So yeah.
So, to follow up with that, then, was it mustard based, tomato based, or vinegar?
Weird questions here.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it's not. I would never ever have thought of that as I was eating the burger, but in hindsight, I think I do remember thinking this kind of tastes a bit like balsamic vinegar.
yeah, okay. So it was
vinegar
okay.
based.
So the reason why I asked that is here in the Carolinas, the base that you use for your barbecue is very important, and you will learn that very quickly as you eat more barbecue.
Yeah.
It's like a rule that you live and die by.
It's true.
What is like the standard base people use?
Hmm?
What is like the standard base people would use?
Well, in North Carolina, vinegar is like 100% the base.
Yeah.
In South Carolina, it's usually mustard base.
Yeah. My mom's big into mustard based barbecue. So
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah. So I'm going to pass it over to CJ for some rapid fire questions that we would like you to answer just as quick as you can with the first things that come to your brain.
First thing that comes to your brain, truthful answers. Let's see what happens, okay? So there's only 3. So this first one is, what is the best accent in Ireland?
Oh, Galway.
no bias.
Yeah, no bias. Most neutral accent, I feel. My accent's most neutral. If you go down to Cork or up to Northern Ireland, it's really like, hey, like high pitched type stuff.
Oh my
I
goodness.
feel like mine is the most neutral, so that's the best.
All right. Number 2, what is the best American fast food?
So far, probably Taco Bell. It's the only one. Well, I've had a few, but that's the one I go back to. So
You haven't been to Chick-fil-A yet? Or like Popeyes?
I have been to Chick-fil-A. Actually, what is that restaurant? It's called Cookout next to Taco Bell. It's always full every night. I haven't gone there yet though, but I'm always intrigued by the fewer cars outside.
Yeah, Cookout is just like a normal like burger place. So you get like burgers, fries. Burger place. It's like super like it's a super southern thing, and it's just a typical like place where you kind of go either like super late night, or if you want something like really cheap.
Yeah.
So you like they're open until like 2 or 3 a.m. So you go at 1:30, 2 a.m. if you're still awake, or if you want like a burger, fries, and then like a quesadilla with a drink, you get like for less than $6.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a great deal. It's good food too.
I'm always in the queue at Taco Bell, like looking across, being like, "Why is there so many cars in this place?" And like, "Why haven't I gone there yet?" I'm just used to going to Taco Bell, so I just kept doing it. But I definitely will have to go one exit early and pull into Cookout.
You definitely should.
You gotta try it at least once.
No, I definitely will. I'm going to try probably all the restaurants multiple times.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Wait, sorry, what was you say? I kind of interrupted you.
Thanking me.
All right, last question, and I hope you get this one right because you did say that you watched some college football. What is the name of Clemson's starting quarterback?
Trevor Lawrence. I know that.
Wrong.
Oh,
Not anymore. He's
Not anymore.
Oh, I actually know. I saw a video of him. Oh, yeah,
I'm
I don't
just
know
kidding.
anymore. Yeah, I won't know that. That's too far.
We were just kidding. We
So it's DJ Uyangalele.
There you go.
Now he will be our starting quarterback for this upcoming season and the season after, and hopefully he stays for another year after that. But
not gonna lie, we set you up for failure on that one.
We kind of did.
It was a setup.
It was a little bit of a trick question because Trevor Lawrence is a valid answer. So, but yeah, so that's all we have for you, question-wise. We would like to thank you for joining us.
No worries, my pleasure.
And for everybody listening, if you want to subscribe to us, you can subscribe to us using the link attached to this video for people listening on Facebook and YouTube. Otherwise, you can go and subscribe on Anchor. It is $1, $5, $10. Every dollar goes towards helping us make this podcast better and bringing more content to you guys. So we love doing this. And CJ.
So is there any rugby this weekend, boys? Is there any Pro 14 this weekend?
There is, yeah. Leinster
Yep.
actually playing Munster. So that's going to be a huge game.
That's a good game.
Well, there you go. So everybody, you have something to go watch, so you better go watch some rugby.
Big derby going on.